We were discussing about what is the meaning of the self-enquiry and how to begin the self-enquiry. We have been doing it, but it is better to know and understand clearly so that we are in a mode of self-enquiry all the time. We should understand it clearly. So once we understand this self-enquiry, the process and the method, we will go for another text. There are 15 steps of the self-enquiry. The Narad advised. So we will pick up that. And after that, if we pick up the main text, that is the Gita, life will continue to change. But you have to ask yourself, how do you find the journey? What changes have taken place? What changes are happening in your life in terms of your attitude, behavior, response to the people in your personal, professional, social, and family life? One phrase principle: you cannot put meditation on autopilot. If you put meditation on autopilot, that is what 99% of the people do it. 1 minute meditation, 2 minute instant meditation, 5 minutes. No, I do it when I have practiced just, a few years ago. I know it. It will not work. I have to live my life consciously. Meditation or mindfulness is not an autopilot. Because we find the new challenges every day, every moment. And that is, if you put it on autopilot, then what happens? You meet your friend and you put your mind on the autopilot and you take it carelessly. So what is that carelessly? It will trigger the past impression with whom you reacted in the past. So what is going to happen? One day your friend says, what happened to you? You have been so good to me. But now why you are reacting? So no autopilot, no habitual process will work. How many times you were upset since the last session? How many times you were anxious, carefully busy since the last session? So answer yourself. Do not answer me. So it will help you understand how many times your mind was on an autopilot, mechanical, instinctive, habitual. Because every time you become, one incident creates millions of impressions. And those millions of impressions results into the impurities that we do not recognize. It goes into the reservoir of past impressions in the mind and it can trigger any time. So then what do you feel? Oh, what happened? I have tried this meditation for many years, but nothing works. No. So that is the reason it doesn't work. I've been repeating for the last couple of sessions, we have no right to die before we discover our real nature. Animals, all the living species, reaches to a certain stage of physical maturity. They don't have a free intellect. They don't think what to do now. No animal. No animal think, what to do now. We have a free intellect. That is why we don't have a right to die. Before we reach to that state, so look at the sequence, how we have reached to the step of the self-inquiry. First, to summarize it, that is what this master has done it. He says you are constantly listening and learning, contemplating and reflecting in your life that results into discernment, and the discernment, as you continue to do the practice, discernment results into dispassion. And when you discover that you are into that state of dispassion, mind is naturally steady. It doesn't mean that it does not have a thought, but you have all those thoughts that doesn't disturb you, that doesn't cause any problem. And that natural state of the steadiness of the mind is the beginning of a self-inquiry. Why? You are aware, constantly aware what thoughts are coming, what thoughts are going. What happened yesterday, that emotions was triggered and you reacted. Now in the morning it comes, you can dissolve it because you are living into that natural steadiness of the mind. It is not that it will not happen, it will happen until the entire reservoir of the past impressions are completely gone. And that takes time. Remember, when the mind says that, I have been listening to you, enough is enough. No, that is the mind which triggers the past impression will react. Ask the mind, have you reached to that state? Do you feel that you are in a totally new level of awareness? The way you respond to the people, society, the world at large is totally different now. Our perception of the world has changed completely. So if I recap with small questions, what we are doing self-discovery. No, but I know who am I. That is the ignorance. The mind. I thought the returns, and you say, no, I know who am I. I'm rich, I'm smart, I'm Miss Universe or Mystery. Oh, well, long list. No, I don't know. So how to know my real self? So I have to know the real self in contrast with the false self. What is false self? I'm the body, mind, intellect, and ego. I'm an individual. That is the false self. But there is also a secondary self. When I look at myself with the body, identifying with the body, mind, intellect, and I thought that is an individual. So how this individual relates to the world outside, to the honey, to the parents, to the ancestors, and to the society, to the individually. That is what is our personal, professional, social, and family life. So that is known as the secondary self. So as long as we claim and declare that I am the secondary self and I am an individual, I hide the real self. Why I hide the real self? Because of ignorance. Because of ignorance. Tell me about the real self, false self, and second. This is clear. Do we know the difference between them? Yes, we know the difference. The real self is unchanging, all pervading of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. But the mind says, sometime I become crazy, sometime I react. I have already married thrice, and still I'm searching peace and happiness. Example, anything can come. So I should know the difference. And the basic difference is that this false self is constantly changing. I identify myself with the body, 65 years, 7 nines are 63. So this every cell of this body has changed 9 times. I cannot identify myself with this body. I'm not the body. And that I remain the same. I remain the same. Yes, another question comes that you are right. You have defined the real self. How the mind creates the doubt. You see that. Yes, I understood intellectually, but I don't experience why. Answer you. You have already attended these sessions, but I do not see anything that is unchanging in the world. And you are talking that I am unchanging. What should I do? So our master says, hold on, knowledge is realized in stages. Why do you not see real self as an unchanging identity? Because of ignorance, because of impurity, because of the restlessness. So now you see how they have developed the topic. So what to do? Start from the impurities, remove it. So if the impurities are gone, ultimately what will happen? You will be able to remove the state of restlessness of the mind, and from the restlessness of the mind, now the mind can focus on the self-inquiry. Now see the little doubts and little doubts and sense of disbelief comes. Where is that belief? What to do to purify the mind? So we take care first of our external life, the personal life, the professional life, the social life, the family life. Do you remember? Conventional method. Connect, contribute, celebrate. Connect, contribute, celebrate. So you see that will help us from the day one. Impurities will be purified slowly, gradually, and progressively. But now the way I wake up in the morning, I'm a new person. I have been reacting to near and the dear ones, but now I'm applying the conventional methods. I'm connecting, contributing, and celebrating. You see what will happen? I can tell you that the people will say, oh, what happened to you today? Why you're so calm? Don't listen to them. Keep on connecting, contributing, and celebrating. You are on a journey to the self-discovery. People will definitely don't believe you in the beginning. People will say, no, I can't believe this guy has changed. So that if they claim, if they blame, and if they are still reacting to your humility and you persist, you endure, that is what the conventional method. That is very important. Otherwise, what happens? You are practicing 1 hour of meditation, 23 hours, you are collecting all those impressions, you remain the same person. So that is why the conventional methods are very important. Now the master raises the question, is practice alone is enough? No. Practice with the right understanding. Practice with the right knowledge. Practice alone cannot lead you to the journey of the self-discovery. But on the whole, the master says that purity is essential. For whom? For myself, for my evolution. You can take admission in even the Harvard Medical School. They do not teach you, do you have a purity of the mind? They don't teach you. Brandy doesn't teach, you should have a purity of the mind to her students. You see the big difference between the two. So the purity is absolutely essential. So we have started applying the conventional method. This is what, but one thing I missed. Do you remember what I missed? Every day in the morning, move your mind into the state of auspiciousness by thinking that this particular moment when I am alive, who knows, So today I am alive, that existence has graced me and blessed me to remain alive. Why to remain alive? To find the real self. Why to find the real self? To bring an end to the suffering. But why to bring an end to the suffering in my life? We already know the answer. So the process, I normally say that it is I'm constantly evolving and helping everyone to evolve. So then I don't say that my home is full of stress or my workplace is full of stress. Then I'm not an app fully busy. Everything because of that auspiciousness followed by the conventional method, very clear. Now we go a little deeper. Do you remember? I believe you remember. After invoking the blessing, I recognize what causes the impurities in my mind. The first pair, likes and dislikes. Second is the trio, the desire, hesitation, or suffering. And greed. Greed is repeat desire. Or you can also say the greed simply means that I want to do the same thing again and again and expecting a different result. Redefine it. Why I redefine it? That is what the contemplation and reflection is. Because if I don't contemplate and reflect, I do not find the meaning. And if I do not find the meaning, the mind will go back to the same old routine. What else you remember? Oh, that all these impurities of the mind attack me in the waking state. There is no chance they can attack me in dream and the sleep state. I have to tell you something more here. This is the journey of the self-discovery where we purify the mind. But majority of the people, and especially those who do not treat the path of Eastern wisdom, they have found over-the-counter medication. What is that? I told you that impurities of the mind are present in the waking state. By applying auspiciousness and using the conventional method, I have to deal with the mind. What is the other method? Over-the-counter medication. What is the over-the-counter medication? Let me have vodka. Self-medication, self-treatment. So I want to push myself more into unconscious. How you can purify them? There are a lot of other stuff. I use the vodka or what? Today I will teach him and her a lesson. Mind is constantly boiling. And I'm driving the car, I meet with an accident, and then because of you, I met with an accident. Why? I was thinking about you. Do you see that? How the conventional methods, So over the counter medication simply means that the self medication I use. Find out why. Why it doesn't help. First thing that it is a fallen unconsciousness. It accumulates more reaction. Blame and complaint game continues. It doesn't work. And then we claim I'm married to be happy, but then I divorced to be happy, but no, I had little hangover today in the morning. It's okay. I will increase it again today in the evening. Self medication. I'm not looking at myself. I don't want to know who am I. So I added this part. So what impurities we have done impurities. Now Master says in the next, I have covered 15 verses from this book. You look at the subtle nature and the subtle understanding. So the mind, or the master points out, are you fool or wise? We have covered that topic. What is the meaning of fool? That I have been constantly subjected by the habitual instinctive mind to live in the state of reaction, blame, complaint, anxiety, duality. My mind keeps on thinking, feeling about others. And what is the goal? Who am I? That's a difference between the fool and the wise. No, I have not to think about the world at all. I am sitting alone. I have to find who am I. I have not to find who am I with reference to any situation, any person, any relationship in the world. And check, within few minutes your mind is gone. So that's the difference between the fool and the wise. No, we all are wise, I'm just reminding. So then at that state, now the mind is mature enough. There is a mental maturity. With that mental maturity, we can understand that the ignorance is the cause of all the problems, is the cause of the suffering, and the self-enquiry is the way. So many people, what they do, they reach there and they omit, or they don't feel like doing any applying conventional methods, and they say, no, I'm intelligent fairly, so I'm using. So I'm not intelligent. I'm fool. I did not follow the previous steps. I think so simple to. No, I will not paddle the car and I will tell you how to drive the car. Not possible. I will not hold the steering. We'll meet with the accident. And then we start blaming there is nothing in the Eastern Group. So self-inquiry. So we will pick up very important points. This master, I told you, Maharshi Raman, who lived until 1960s or 70 in southern India. What he did, we should understand. Why I'm saying so? I'm inspiring. Oh, I will be scared. No, you need not to be scared. I'll tell you. So this Maharshi Raman says, in that state of purity of the mind, what to do? He guides, he suggests that self-inquiry means thinking, it means contemplation and reflection, means it is a constant attention to the inner awareness of I am. Am I a speaker? Am I a teacher? You don't get an answer. You're just expressing yourself. So what I'm doing, I'm guiding you from the highest teaching, and then we will come down so that it becomes clear. I thought. So what Maharshi Raman says, what this master says, when you keep your attention on this I am, from the waking until you fall into sleep, what will happen? The master says, this I thought will disappear. What remains? Pure awareness, pure consciousness. So now the pure consciousness is expressing as a speaker, as a teacher, as a seeker, as a honey, without any tag of impurity attached to it. Did you get it? Say yes. So another way to understand self-enquiry means thinking. So here the conscious thinking, not thinking of vodka, thinking of the real self. Oh, you told me thinking. That's why I was thinking about it. I was thinking about honey. No, thinking about the honey that is sitting inside. But the mind will be distracted to go outside. That is why the purity of the mind, conventional method, being auspiciousness are required. But anyhow, let us follow. So he gives another definition that you think to express the real self, to receive, retain, reflect, and realize the knowledge of the self. 4R. Receive, retain, reflect, and realize. So again, I'm repeating. To think, to express to yourself, to others, receive, retain, reflect, and realize knowledge of the real self. He came to this conclusion by which practice? That is very interesting to know. You want to know? Yes, I'm going to tell you. Maharshi Raman, at the age of the 16, before, at his younger age, maybe 13 and 14, he heard that, he heard from a master that if you do not move the body and keep the body like a corpse, like a dead body, so don't be scared. If you keep this body like a corpse and you become aware of the death of the body, you reach to the state of self-realization and awakening. So in the very primary practices, we talk of shavasana, the corpse posture. So even if the teacher guides you the shavasana for relaxation, you get more agitated. You don't want to keep your body still. No, now I got agitated, 5 minutes is good for relaxation. Do you see that? I'm going further. So what he says in the vision of the death, he did only one practice, that is the corpse posture. And according to what he said, I'm just repeating as it is, in the vision of the death, while lying into the corpse pose. You see that? Raman Maharshi, this master, made everything so easy. Just lie down in a relaxation pose. But now the main thing comes. Knowledge, he applied the knowledge. In the vision of the death, I could see that the sense organ could not go outside because the dead body does not have any awareness. It was clearly evident to me, he says. So I realized that it was that awareness that we call I gets dissociated with the body. So what is left? Self-awareness. What is that self-awareness? All-pervading, unchanging identity. That is the reason. Again, I'm saying, once we have followed the entire journey, we have reached to the state of self-inquiry. So this master says, what he did, he just lied down. He said, now I am dead. And then he focused his attention. Who is saying I am dead? You see, who focused? So at least, when he is saying that he is dead, so there is someone inside. And then he recognized that this I is identifying with the body, but I am dead. So I don't recognize the body. My sense organ will not go outside. So when it is going outside, he left it as it is. He said, okay, let it go. I don't identify with you. It took him a couple of hours. He kept lying in that pose for 6 to 7 or 8 hours. And the next day he was already awakened. Instant awakening? Yes. Only to the highest level of his. So what happened? He says that when I was in that state with awareness and attention, I recognized the very I dissolved. What is left? Only the pure self-awareness. Just an awareness. Then he says that it was very easy for me to negate that I which was associated with the body that left me in the state of pure awareness. And that awareness is what I am. That consciousness is what I am. That is one way of following this self-inquiry. We have understood the highest level, practiced and experienced. Then his entire teaching was based on who am I? Tell me who am I? I'm the body. Really? Then he said, inquire again. He is known as one of the great masters lived in the last century. Close your eyes. Let us start our journey. Eyes are closed. Now, we are not doing that practice of corpse. We still continue the same practice, so no worries. Don't get scared. You want me to die? No. How dare I? Eyes are closed. Body is steady, natural and comfortable. Good. Did you close your eyes without squeezing? Do you find the comfort? That is the sign of being in the corpse pose, where even if we are sitting, it doesn't make any difference. Why? I don't worry about the sense organs. They pull me outside. I said, thank you. So you don't struggle. You live into that state of awareness. Let us follow again. Simple. The entire body. You are aware of the entire body. Physical awareness. So to say, look inside. You experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Now I'm just talking about that master. When the master says, I could see that this body is a matter, so it is already dead. But the mind triggers some sensation in the body, and the mind gets associated with the body. Oh, that is the identification needs to be broken. And that is why the previous steps are necessary. Did this master did the previous steps? No. So there are people who had the God-gifted vision. What we say, we will talk about that later. So the entire body, you experience the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. It is subtle awareness. Now I think your mind should assimilate and digest this. Moving within simply means the rise in awareness. And after that, you see the space in a sense of emptiness or a blankness. This is again a further rise in awareness. Why further rise in awareness? We have already dropped the identification with the body and the mind. The mind cannot withstand the scrutiny of the infinite space within. I can tell you. So being comfortable is done, being carefree. So I do not identify with the thoughts coming and going is the way. Do not participate with the unwanted, unwelcome thoughts in the lane one. Who is doing? Oh, this is what the lane two, the intellect. How the intellect works in the field of awareness. The intellect doesn't work in the dream and the sleep state. But the intellect is triggered by the impure mind. Mind dictates the intellect and awareness. We are gone. Now you understand the importance of. So we are already carefree. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Auspiciousness. So we change the track of the mind from the lane 1 to lane 2. Lane 2 is we are doing the mantra to lane 3. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Let everyone be happy, meaning knowledge, happiness is the essential nature of every living species, including me. Stress on, including me. If that is so, there is no reason to get upset on any day, in any situation, in any relationship. Why? Happiness is my essential nature. What will happen? We will instantly remember and recall, I get upset because I was seeking happiness outside. And what will happen to the mind? Mind will dissolve that conflict. That is what an auspicious moment is. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Let everyone be in peace. So more or less you have the same reason. So you're doing the practice with a contemplation. Everyone is seeking peace. Every living species. So I am. And why I am seeking peace? Because peace is my essential nature. We cannot stand, we cannot stop, we cannot prevent finding the peace because it is our essential nature. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Let every thing be. No, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. You see that I missed? Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Let everyone be complete in oneself. So that idea, that thought, that mantra is given to contemplate and reflect that we are complete in ourselves. What that means, the real self is complete. Why it is complete? Real self is of the nature of peace, happiness, love, and truth and wisdom. But why I am searching the same outside? Because of ignorance. Now you see the contemplation, reflection, you recall and remember. Oh, that is why. So, what happens to the mind? The mind keeps moving inside. If you feel that state every time you do the practice and contemplate, can you say yourself you are the highest seeker? Yes. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Let there be auspiciousness for all. So, in that state, you look inside the forehead, Shantoham, gently. You see Shantoham, check that there is a gap, an interval, then you drop Shantoham. Body remain in the state of sensation, comfort and steadiness. And now is the time to start breathing from the chest, the rib cage. Short, quick and gentle breathing through both the nostrils for 3 minutes. Continue. Gentle, short breath. You are conscious that you are expanding the chest and contracting the chest with every inhalation and exhalation, and keep on Shantoham deep inside the forehead in the space. So we have set the space to drop that I according to the master. Master never guided any practice. This is my way of explaining. And stop it, do nothing, recognize. Do you remember? Recognize, accept all the experiences and the changes. A sense of bodilessness. Sometimes we experience the body has become bigger or smaller or disappeared. Obviously, identification has lost. That is how we need to work consciously. Keep on doing Om Shanti. Shantoham, sorry. And start 3 minutes of belly breathing, the longer breath. Long, deep, but only from the belly. You inhale, the belly expands. You exhale, the belly squeezes. In the state of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So I kept some element of the body is not moving except the belly. So an idea of a corpse, because that will help your mind to gather information. That we have been doing it for a couple of weeks and even the months. 3 minutes. Sometimes the mind says, I will not breathe longer. It's okay. But conscious effort is required. Don't get upset if you cannot do it. How much you can do it, do it. That is the way of doing it consciously. And stop this. Do nothing again. You see that why I say do nothing? So that mind recognizes there is no doer. Doer means what? There is no I. In that state, you recognize and experience the changes that is taking place. You are able to maintain that state of awareness. You rise in consciousness. The intellect does not recognize. Mind goes to, remember, autopilot. You are becoming a master to yourself. But don't start teaching others. Now, keep your focus inside the forehead. Shanti. And now breathing both from the belly and the rib cage. You are consciously aware. You're filling the air into the belly, then into the rib cage. They both expand. And while breathing out, you squeeze your belly and the rib cage. Only for 3 minutes. Continue. And stop it. You might be realizing I make very subtle but very effective changes in the practice every time, as far as with reference to the awareness, the level of awareness. Recognize, accept the changes. That is the meaning of receive, retain the knowledge. You're assimilating the knowledge. Now let us do, we should not forget, start with the nyasa, start breathing deep, silent, slow. Our car. Intellect gives the direction as you inhale. Move the mind from the crown of the head into the spine, reaching to the tailbone. During exhalation, the mind rises and moves from the tailbone to the crown of the head. So that mind is the driver holding the steering. So we have already put its direction in the spine, so the senses will not move towards their likes and dislikes. Now, we're sitting there, the intellect, what it is doing, Shanto Ham. As you inhale, the mind moves from the crown of the head into the spine, singing Shanto Ham. Hum ends at the tailbone during inhalation, and hum ends at exhalation on the crown of the head during exhalation. Recheck that the breath is smooth, the mind doesn't have any conflict and reaction, dropping Shantoham. The body remain in the state of steadiness, and you're driving on the highway. What is highway? That is the space. Now leave this, just check how the mind takes your breath to a natural pattern. Wait, experience that state. And now move the mind deep inside the cave of your heart. Visualize the triangle. And move the mind on a triangle with a three-pointed awareness. That is again to help us to raise our awareness. What are the 3 points? Moving on the side, moving the mind, and dropping Shantoham. So your Shantoham starts at first point of the side of a triangle, ends with the last point of the side of a triangle. That is what I say the sync. It only demands awareness. And then also you are also checking the sync, moving the mind and Shantoham clockwise and anti-clockwise. The moment you see it is sinking, you will discover what you will discover, a sense of bodilessness. And that is the point. When you move the mind, then what you do? You just start singing Shantu and moving the mind from the center of a triangle. The triangle also disappears. You'll find the mind seemingly stops. The moment seemingly stops, hum Shantu. Hum means I am. Shantu, peace. Where is the nature of the peace? Beauty of this journey is that not only the masters define, but they also depict. What is the depiction of the peace? It is in good space. You have a good space in your house, everything is very well organized. Where you work, do you have a good space? Everything is very well organized. Do you have a good space in the mind? Impurities are absent. And now leave this. Now is the time for the japa. Shantu Ham. With the mind's eye, with the mind's ear, with the mind's tongue, with the mind's touch. You already know. I need not to explain it. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind, or you say awareness. There is no I. Only for the sake of understanding, bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand, lift your both palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good. Excuse me. I'm good. Thank you. It was unbelievably quick. For me, it was an effortless practice today. That I was clearly an observer with zero attachment. And I say that because I just went with everything that was just happening to me, and it was very quiet and very dark space. I was very focused here for the whole start of the meditation, and I found it interesting when we started doing the breathing, the chest breathing. Everything was here,
Yeah.
and then when you went to the belly breathing, it almost as if there was two spaces. I'm observing two different spaces. So, so in the belly breathing, I now recognize that there was a space here, but all the activity was taking place here. And then when we went to the combination, it's as if the entire space expanded. I got really cold, and the space was outside myself. And then right as we started the nyasa, I had this jolt of energy that came through my top and then right down to the base of the spine. And then it was when we started the japa that it came out from the base of the spine. Oh, I just knocked my hat off, straight up out of my head, and I got face cold. And then it was over. So
Beautiful. Couple of things that we should understand. In Hatha Yoga practices, or even in Tantra Yoga or in Kundalini practices, we do not understand. We do not want to know. Our focus remains on doing the practice. And because the unusual experiences, first thing, impurities of the mind is the second, they got mixed up. What is the result? Then we talk dangers in these practices. You have to be. Why there is a danger? Once I understand it clearly what is happening, it will normally, there is no danger in these practices also, provided we do with the knowledge. Interesting point that you observed. You said something like zero. What you said, Stephen? Zero?
are you saying zero?
Yeah. What did you say after zero?
I didn't say zero.
You didn't say zero? Maybe, I forgot it. Nothingness, a sense of nothingness. When the mind is absorbed deeper within, the mind has zero blame and complaint. This is what I wanted to say. You might have said something different. So that is how we understand. We learn from our experiences. Beautiful, Stephen. That is what. And how are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you, sir. Great meditation. The word that stuck with me from the talk in the beginning is refresh, how our body renews every 7 years. Well, I started thinking about our body renews with every breath. So I just focused on that. And what happened was it created discernment for thoughts that were past because they weren't relevant. So my thoughts just were in the absolute present, which meant I was focusing on my breath, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it was wonderful. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. These principles are so beautiful. Once the mind receives, retains, assimilates, it results into a new level of experience. So in case of the David, that very sense of understanding changes the mind. That is very important. Wonderful. How are you, Jerry?
I'm good, thank you. The meditation was really great. My mind again went to what it's with the bottled consciousness. It sees everything that's changing. However, it only knows the consciousness, but it doesn't see it.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because then through the meditation, my mind went to experiences in my past that I experienced consciousness. So like, anyways, I won't get into that, but I couldn't see it. But from a young age and at different points in my life, I didn't really know how to explain it either.
Yeah,
What I
yeah.
was seeing.
The past impressions that is accumulated in our mind, I'm referring to a principle coming from Patanjali, the master of Eastern psychology. He says karmashaya, the reservoir of those impressions are present at the deeper layer. So during the meditation, they resurface, they come and they go. We need not to worry about it. And ultimately, that results into the state of realizing the pure consciousness. One more thing, I just narrated the story, the real life story of this master who just lied down on the floor and he said, "Now I'm dead." So the knower inside is present who says, "I am dead." And he remained in that state for 6, 7, perhaps in more than 7 hours. And he reached to that state. Who wants to do that? Don't tell me. How are you, Randy? Thank you, Jerry. How are you, Randy?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning. Thank you for the practice. My meditation was really deep. It was so deep that I found myself having to find myself back to your voice. And I would it would just go so far away and then like come back and hear you. That was really nice.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. So mind was not posing any challenges, any reaction. That is wonderful. That is the worth noticing. So, how are you, Christina?
Good morning, thank you. I felt many moments of being separate from my body. I could sense that
Good.
what you're describing, yeah.
Beautiful. That is a good state. In fact, when I read about this master, I said, let me try. It didn't happen. Within 5 minutes, the mind was objecting to the body. Mind says, no, you have a lot of challenges. You have problems. And from there, I realized that these are the impurities of the mind. But in case of this master, he had no impurities. Sometimes you find those people, even near and dear ones and among your friends and family, that this guy looks very cool. He always remains calm. He never raises his voice. There are people. So it depends on the past impression. And it took me almost, I would make you clear that it took me 7 to 8 years where I succeeded in keeping the body for 2 to 3 hours totally in emotionless state. So it means for 7 years, those impurities were attacking me. So when you determine, it is 100% possible. So how are you, Terry?
I haven't had any sleep, so I'm very distracted.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was thinking about how the space that you see is really that. Like first, I wanted to know where it is, and then I just realized that it's not really there because that's just the absence of sight.
Look at me. What do you see? What do you see?
Well, the light is revealing that you're holding up your hand.
My right hand. Where is the space?
Everywhere.
Why you start searching the location?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah. Right. Okay.
That is the nature of the mind.
Yeah.
Space is multidimensional, so the consciousness is multidimensional.
Yeah, we just think we're seeing it inside ourselves, but that's not real.
Yeah, so
No.
yeah, you got it. That is what happens. How are you, Samir?
Sir, it was I felt that everything was melting inside me,
Yeah,
and the sky was becoming totally clear in my heart. It was totally transparent.
it was
My
totally.
heart became totally transparent, and it was very peaceful. I felt very good after meditation.
Very good. So when we feel everything is melting, the mind stops perceiving at a particular time, in a particular location, in a particular situation. So that gives the way to a multi-dimensional awareness. That is what we are. We have been talking. Wonderful, Samir. How are you, Ashok?
Thank you, sir. It was very peaceful, calm, stable, quiet.
Quite beautiful. Beautiful. That's a beautiful experience because the more the mind gathers these impressions, the mind is definitely going to change. And we are left with anesthesia. Anesthesia. Anesthesia, you sent me an email to the people wants to attend this session.
Namaste. No, not this session, Ukrainian session.
Oh, you are the teacher of that session. You can allow anyone because you translate everything.
Thank you.
You have 100% right.
My meditation was very deep and calm, and this time of breathing seemed to be so long. I don't know why, and I keep seeing this eye, and my mind just stays on the at this eye. I don't know why it likes so much this vision, or I have noticed when I have some unusual experience for me, like color or vision, my mind likes to focus on this. And sometimes, if I have some unusual experience, I get worried after or a little bit during meditation. Like I'm worried what is happening with me, and I've been contemplating a lot about mind. I decided to name my mind monkey mind because it, despite of a lot of listening and contemplation and practices, it keeps stuck in a trigger, or it returns to the same stuff. And then I remembered, then my mind was like, but there is a story about monkey who became a master.
Yeah.
So you cannot tell me monkey mind because even monkey understood. Yes. So now I understand how important it is to be prepared and to prepare your mind.
Yes, so that you can remain a seeker. Keep remembering the monkey mind, but also ask your mind, who knows it is a monkey mind? That is the real self. That is the knower. That is the consciousness. There is no monkey mind if the consciousness is not there. If I'm not conscious, nothing is there. That is the journey. We are doing it. Wonderful. We are moving slowly. Thank you very much. With your
Who is left?
who is left?
Vaibhav?
Oh, sorry, Vaibhav is left. You are right. Thank you for pointing me, Vaibhav. Sorry, Vaibhav. Yeah.
Namaste, sir. Sir, I'm good. Sir, the mind was calm. I like that if my mind remains calm, then I'm able to connect more with the people, and it will be easier for me to communicate also. So it was good.
You see that you raised a good point. I missed you. So first we apply the conventional method. It demands a little effort. Then the second stage comes where we are settled in higher consciousness. And in that state of the consciousness, I start living my personal, professional, and social life. So now those conventional methods become the natural way of expressing in my daily personal, professional, and social life. Did you get it? First is demands an effort. So the mind starts moving and living into that state. Then we raise our level of awareness. So what you said, that now it becomes natural to communicate with the people, the society, the situation, and to manage that situation. If that is happening, it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. Carrie, where is the space? Space is in front, on the right, left, bottom, top. Behind is also there is a space. Now, what is the point of ignorance? Is the space not inside the hand? Yes. So, how do I recognize the space? I reflect, contemplate. Because of the right hand, I recognize the space is multi-dimensional. Then what happened? My mind is already dissolved. It has lost I-ness. It has lost the right hand. What is left is only the space.
It's also inside the hand.
Yeah, it is
And then
also
the
in.
hand
Yeah.
kind of disappears.
So we are killing that impure mind, which is looking for a location, which is looking for a situation to find the space. That is the impurity of the mind. That is all for today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank